All right. So, what's going on, YouTube? I'm Kai Cargo. I'm coming at you today with something that I didn't necessarily want to start talking about, but this is my first video, and I've been looking for something to post about. And if you hear my cat, yeah, that's her. So. She's adorable, though. Maybe she'll come over here. I don't know. We'll see. But, like I was saying, this is my first video, and I've been trying to find something to talk about. And it just so happens that this is something that I feel really strongly about. So, I just wanted to do a little video about what's going on in the news right now as far as transgender individuals being banned from military service. In any capacity. That's what was stated. I don't know what that means yet. I don't think any of us really do. But what I will tell you is that I have served for 4 years so far. I'm still currently serving. So if you think that this is going to be like a Trump bashing video, that's not what this is going to be. It's my commander-in-chief, regardless of whether I like him or dislike him, so I can't really say anything to that. But what I do want to get into is just some things that I've been seeing on Facebook and on YouTube and a couple of different other forms of social media. It's not official yet. It hasn't been implemented. My chain of command has already contacted me saying that it hasn't been implemented. So just to live life like it's still the same as it was 3 days ago before it was announced. So that's what I plan on doing. Not because I agree with it, but because if I sit here and worry about it and get that negative mentality, then that's what's going to happen. I'm just going to be a negative person. So right now I'm just trying to get through it like my other fellow transgender soldiers are, and that's all that we can do right now is, there you are. Hello. Hi. Everybody, this is shark bait. Shark really, but I call her shark bait. Oh, okay. Apparently, she just wants to walk around and cry the whole time, so you'll hear her in the background. That's fine. So, like I was saying, and just try to remain positive and try to hope that the people that are in Washington, D.C. dealing with this, that they stick up for us, that they're there for us, that they see that we're not a burden, and I know that a lot of people have been saying that, that we're not a burden to the military, and I agree. I don't think that President Trump actually called us a burden specifically. He called the medical costs and whatever a burden to the military. So I did want to say that. It's very easy to look into what people say and make it directly affecting or directly associated with us, and I don't really think that's I don't think that's what he really was saying there, or at least I hope not, I guess. I don't know that. Maybe he didn't mean that. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I want to open this up for questions. I'll answer anything that I can for you guys. I know that they say that the medical costs are a burden, so I just want to touch on that real quick. I did a little bit of research, not a lot. I mean, this isn't even from the medical treatment facilities on post. This isn't from that. This is literally going on Google and looking up how much a vial of testosterone costs, which is what I would use. So 1 cc of testosterone on the market and like Walmart or Walgreens or whatever runs for about $11. So I take 0.75. So that's, I mean, whatever. It's 2 vials a month, so that's putting the total cost around like $22-23. If you look at it that way, it's I mean, it's really not that expensive. And I mean, you have to look at it as they're saying 14,000 transgender troops in the military. I don't believe that, only because I know very few, I guess. I would say it's a lot less than that, that have actually began transitioning. I'm not saying that there aren't more that don't know yet or haven't identified that way yet, or they're still trying to figure that out. So I'm not accounting for that. I'm also not accounting for the people that have the actual diagnosis of gender dysphoria but haven't started medication yet just because they didn't want to. But we have to look at that too. I mean, like we know in the community, not everybody decides to get prescribed testosterone or get prescribed estrogen and testosterone blockers. Like that, we know that in our community, but not a lot of people in Washington know that. They don't ask questions. They don't know the experiences of the people that are actually transgender. Therefore, they're going off of, the people that get diagnosed with gender dysphoria and then do the prescribed so many months of seeking out a counselor, going to a psychologist and talking to them, and then actually getting the diagnosis, and then after they get the diagnosis, actually being prescribed the medication after you've seen endocrinology. I mean, it is a process, and that's what they're basing it on. They're basing it on the people that identify as the opposite gender, being transgender, and then actually start medication. So that's what they're basing it on. And they're also not looking at whether somebody's going to get top surgery or bottom surgery. They don't look at it that way. They're looking at every single transgender soldier is going to get the diagnosis, start medication, want bottom surgery and top surgery, and then that is when they finally transition. And that's not how it works. I mean, for me personally, I don't want bottom surgery. It's not something that I really want. I do want top surgery. Do I expect the government, the military to pay for that? No, I don't. But that's me. I mean, other people might expect the military and the taxpayers and the government to pay for that for them. And it's not wrong either way. I would personally rather pay for it because then it feels like I did it. That I took care of myself instead of having somebody else. And I'm not saying that you're having somebody else take care of yourself. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. All I'm saying is that, your insurance is going to cover it, so it's not money straight out of your pocket. And I would prefer to have money straight out of my pocket knowing that I paid for it. And I don't know the cost of top surgery. I really don't. I haven't really looked into it very much yet. But I will say that most of the time in the military, if you go for surgery or you go for really anything, they're going to find the cheapest, like the absolute cheapest way to cover it. So let's just say top surgery costs up to $10,000. They're probably going to find a way to have it cost like $4,000 or $5,000. That's just how the military does things. So do I think that the costs are going to be crazy? I don't know. I really don't. I have no idea. I don't think that the hormones are going to be outrageous, especially whenever you consider other things like they've said in the media. I mean, erectile dysfunction medication is very expensive and very prevalent in the United States. They say somewhere it's like $84.24 million a year on that specific medication. We don't know how much of that is actually military, but That's a lot of money. And then we can also look at birth control. I mean, I don't know the amount of money on that, but what I will say is that's definitely a choice to be on birth control. Now, if you're medically, like if you have cramps out to wazoo, right? Like they hurt really, really, really bad, which I was there. Birth control helps that. So, yeah, I mean, in some cases I can see that. Makes sense. But, just being on birth control because you want to be sexual, you want to go out and have the sex, then, I mean, that's a choice. And it's probably really, really expensive for, the taxpayers and the government and the military too. But they're not looking at that. And that's why I don't really think that it has anything to do with the monetary issue. I don't think it has anything to do with money. I think it has a lot to do with the transgender community is very visible right now, because of what happened a year ago where they lifted the ban. So we're still visible. They're still trying to work out the kinks of how everything's going to work in the military, so it's a very visible subject. So yeah, I mean, I understand why it's being brought up. I don't understand why we're being targeted. I understand why it's being brought up, just because it's, like I said, very visible. And they're talking about readiness. I will say, whenever I started my transition in the military this past November, I was said to be non-deployable for 6 months. That's 6 months of being non-deployable, so I see that being an issue. However, what I will say, again, and this is nothing bad on these individuals, it's just a fact. It happens, people go on deployments and are sexually active, get pregnant. That's 9 months of being non-deployable, so they're sent home. Or people prior to a deployment get pregnant. That's 9 months, more than that really, probably 9 months of being non-deployable, but then you have the child, and then you have, so many weeks of maternity leave or whatever, so it's a little bit more than that. I mean, it can be looked at in a couple of different ways. So, again, I don't really understand it. I can only speak from my experience when I say that I don't feel mentally unstable. I don't feel psychologically unstable. I have different moods than I did before I transitioned, but it's nothing that I couldn't deal with. It's nothing that sent me over the edge where I couldn't take care of my battle buddies if I needed to. I mean, that doesn't seem to be an issue for me. I don't speak for everyone. I'm speaking for myself. And then, as far as getting medication while you're downrange, down on a deployment, something like that, they give you a month's supplies of your medication. So if you go on a 9-month deployment, they're going to give you 9 months of medication and supplies, like your needles or whatever you need to do the injection yourself. They will teach you how to do the injection yourself. You have the medication available to you, so that's not an issue. I don't know. I'm trying to look at this from every different angle and every different possibility. I'm trying not to be very closed-minded about it, because I do like to see different sides of the story. And I know Ty Turner posted a video about it, and I commented on that, just letting them know that I would keep them posted. So this is just kind of a video to keep everybody in the loop of what I know, and information that I can give you right now. I hope that it helps some of you. If you have questions, or you want me to make other videos about this, or speak more specifically on something, let me know. Drop a comment. I'll check them out. And you know, I want to post videos on other things too. So if you have a video idea and you would like me to make a video about it, too easy, I'll do that for you as well. So I'm sorry that this ran a little bit long. I just had a lot of thoughts about it in the last couple of days, and I'm trying not to leave anything out. I'm trying not to be unsensitive or insensitive about the subject or to people in the military, to people outside of the military. Whatever. Are you gonna get it or? Oh, good. All right, so we're just gonna cover that up. Yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys want. If you want to know something, I'm pretty open about pretty much everything. So just ask. But have a good night, guys. And I'll talk to you on the flip side.